the hiragana in order once, and then random order once, as soon as I find where those flashcards are. They're there. And then we're going to work on some different reading practice from what we did on Tuesday. It's actually going to be more stuff that's lesson 1 vocabulary and greetings vocabulary phrases. Okay, so let's first go to hiragana kuriru. Can everybody read this first line now?
Oh, hiragana.
Hi, hiragana. So this is a, I, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so, ta, chi, tsu, te, to, na, ni, nu, ne, no, ha, hi, hu, he, ho, ma, mi, mu, me, mo, ya, yu, yo, la, li, lu, le, lo, wa, wo, ga, gi, gu, ge, go, za, ji, zu, ze, zo, da, ji, zu, de, do, ba, bi, bu, be, bo, pa, pi, pu, pe, po, tia, tu, kyo, ya, yu, yo, sha, shu, sho, ja, ju, jo, cha, chu, cho, nya, nyu, nyo, hya, hu, hyo, bya, byo, pya, pyu, pyo, mya, nyu, myo, bya, lyo, particle wa, particle e. And now we're going to do scrambled order. Okay, so this is ka, na, ze, ma, da, wu, flying fingers, zo, ke, ri, ta, so, you, yes, you, ryo, good, ra, chi, sha, good, bi, yes, e, ryu, ku, me, hi, pyo, new.
Oh.
This one is new. New. Hyo.
Sa.
Ju.
Mi.
Cho.
So is it when the first, like the Romaji has 3 symbols, it's, you cut it off at the first part and you just, what am I trying to say?
sheet, there is no like other cho possible.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? With some of them, like the M's, for example, mo and myo have to be spelled differently to distinguish. Mo is one symbol, myo is mi plus small yo,
Okay.
right? So in that case, one has to be spelled mo and the other one has to be spelled myo, myo, to make the distinction. But in this case, cho, you could spell it chyo or cho either way because there's no other possibility, right? Because the nearest
That makes
equivalent would
sense.
be po, right?
Okay.
Cho.
Yeah.
Ya, o, particle o, right? Bu, right? Hue, right? Hue. Ho. Cha, right? Su, right? Ne, right? De, right? Nyo, right? Ni,
New.
you,
Or
you, ya, right? Chu, right? Yi, pet, right? G, yes, the other G. Pew, yeah. Right, wa, right? Goal, yes, goal. Zu, right? Shoot, whoop, character again. Set, right? Colt, ha, right? Ya, ga, bu, yes, bu. To, bu, myo, bo, ha, gyo, ro, gi, mu, su, right? Ji, right?
Okay.
Ge, kya, gu, pi,
Or P.
pi, bet, right? Sho, right?
He.
Wa, ku, kill, right? Ne, right? Zu, ya, mu, right? O, Q, right? Ba, kya, do, ki, yo, kya, no, za, yes. Po, jo, right? Jo, bio, mo, et, nya, pu, right? Ha, she, ja, and meow. Okay, good job. So, I know not everybody was getting every one as fast as everyone else, but overall, do you all feel like you're making progress? Okay. Does everybody feel like they're able to read most of them, even if they're not getting them as fast as some other people?
Yes.
Okay. And the ones that you're not getting, you are practicing daily, right? Yeah, so is everybody using that flashcard method I recommended, where you're sorting them by whether or not you've got them down? Okay, that helps, doesn't it? There are actually apps available for smartphones that kind of do that same system for you, but for myself, I always found that making the physical flashcards was part of the practice, and then using them was also part of the practice. So I always liked physical flashcards myself. Okay, we're gonna end this show and go to, let's see, I'm going to do these guys for a while. So here we have some short words and then longer words. And we're going to practice little by little. So let's practice vocabulary words here. Doku. Anyone know what it means? Yes, the number 6. Doku. Yoji. Yes, yoji. So anyone know what yoji means? Yoji? Ji is o'clock. Yo is short for yon, which means 4. So this is a special pronunciation specifically for the time 4 o'clock. So yoji. Normally 4 is yon, not yo. Well, there are a couple of special cases where it gets shortened, and this is one of them. Okay, so yoji is 4 o'clock. Nana, anyone? 7, yes. Okay. Yon, 4, what we just talked about, yes. Ichi is 1, yes. Han, anyone know?
It's like half past.
Half, yes. Han means half, and when it's part of a time phrase, it means half past. Okay? Kuji, anyone? Yes, 9 o'clock. Nani? What? Exactly. Means what? Gogo is PM, yes. Alright. Yomu? Anybody? Actually, no, yomu means to read. This is actually not in your current vocabulary, it's from the future. But I stuck it in there because your lesson 1 vocab didn't have anything with mu in it. And I wanted you to get something that practiced mu. So yomu, to read, has mu in it. Nugu, again, future vocab because nothing else had nu in it. So nugu means to take off, as in shoes and socks. Nugu. Nomu, to drink. You're close. Yeah, nomu is to drink. And again, I put it in for the mu practice because there just aren't as many words that have mu in them. Shinu, and again for the nu practice, and shinu is the verb to die. So again, much later vocab, but it's just good reading practice. Goji, 5 o'clock, yes. Hachi is 8, yes, the number 8. San. Mr. or Mrs., yes, when it's a suffix after a name, and the number 3. It means both of those things. Means yes. Yes, it's a yes. Means yes. Height also means yes. 2 different ways to say yes. Height or Ma. Yes, ima means, anybody? Now. All right. None. Another word for nani. Nan and nani are just 2 different pronunciations that both mean what, and it depends on what follows as to which pronunciation it takes. There are certain set phrases that require nan, other set phrases require nani. It's situational. And I will point out which one it is as it comes up. Ano. Exactly. Ano. And in chapter 2 it has another meaning as well. Miji. 2 o'clock, yes. Okay, so those are all of our 2-letter vocab words. Now we're going to look at some 3-letter words, and then some 4-letter words, and then some longer words. this is iie, which means no, and it also works as a sort of don't worry about it, don't mention it when somebody says thank you. Okay? And note that it is iie versus ie. One i in ie, that's a house. Huge pronunciation and meaning difference there. The pronunciation difference sounds small to our ears. Japanese people think it sounds obvious. So iie versus ie, very important distinction. Oh, I put the wrong one down. I certainly did. Okay, this one is suji. Right. So suji means anybody? This one is actually like a section header in lesson 1. It's not actually on the vocab list. Suji means numbers. And when they introduce the numbers, they actually title that segment Suji. Okay. Tango. This is another section header. Every lesson in the book has a tango section. It means vocabulary. Tango. Q. Not the English letter. Anyone know what number this is? 9. Q means 9. Number 9. Q. Okay, this one is watashi. I. And Japanese people point to their nose when they say I instead of pointing to the chest like we tend to do. Okay, so watashi, I. Nihon. Yes, Japan. Nihon is the word for Japan. Namae. Name. Yes, namae. Ichiji. Yes, 1 o'clock. Ju. 10 o'clock, the number 10, yeah, not 10 o'clock. That would be Ju-ji, right? Ju is 10. Rokuji, 6 o'clock. Yes, Rokuji, 6 o'clock. Hyaku, yes. Notice that it is the small ya. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is the small ya. Hyaku. 100, yes, hyaku. Not to be confused with hayaku, which is ha, full-size yaku, and that means quickly. Hyaku and hayaku. Important pronunciation distinction there too. Right, gozen? AM, yes. Gogo is PM, gozen is AM. Sanji, which is 3 o'clock, yes. Kaiwa, yes, another subject header in your textbook. Kaiwa means dialogue or conversation. Kaiwa. Okay. Hai, shichiji is, anybody know? 7 o'clock. Remember, nana was 7, but shichi also means 7. And again, there are certain set phrases where you must use nana or you must use shichi. Okay, so shichichi, 7 o'clock. Nisai. Anyone know what the sai suffix means? Ni is the number, yes, age. Ni is 2. Nisai would be 2 years old. So you can take whatever number and add sai on the end, and that means that you're that number years of age. Okay, so if you've got a younger sibling who is, say, 11, 11歳. Okay, or if they're 12, 12歳. If they're 13, 13歳, and so forth. If you're 23, 23歳. Okay, and there are a few pronunciation shifts and oddities, which we'll talk about later. Okay. 電話 telephone, yes. 電話 英語 English language, yes. And 8時 8 o'clock, exactly. Okay. Next, here we have some 4-letter words. はい、挨拶 Greetings, yes. Aisatsu is, again, it was a subject header in your textbook. The greetings section is called Aisatsu. Okay. What's this one? Hi, oyasumi. Casual good night, yes. Oyasumi nasai has the nasai ending. That makes it more polite. This is the casual good night, oyasumi. What's this one? 15. Anybody? What's ju by itself? 10. What's go by itself? 5. So 15. 15, yes, 1 5. Yeah, it's like you're saying 10 plus 5. 15. Right? You see how that works? Japanese number system is actually fairly logical and relatively easy to learn. Not a lot of crazy pronunciations like 12 and 13. 20, 20, yes. 2 tens. 20. Make sense? There's logic to it. Don't you love it? 10. Ji again was time, o'clock, so 10, 10 o'clock, right? Hai, tomodachi, friend, yes. All right. Yes, Japanese language, Nihongo. Nihongo. The go part means language, so you put any country name here, add go. It means the language of that country. Of course, there are some languages where the original country isn't the only place where it's spoken. So they do not say America go, just like we don't say American language normally. We say English, right? So Eigo is English. Nihongo is Japanese. Betonam-go would be a Vietnamese language. Chugoku-go would be Chinese language. Furansu-go, French. Spain-go, Spanish, like that. Italia-go, Italian, and so forth. Senho, major, yes. Yes, major in college, what you study in college, senho. Right? So desu. Right? So desu means, yes, that is so. That's the case. Okay, so if you ask somebody a yes/no question and you just want to say, yes, that's true, you can say, hai, so desu. Right? Hai, 2時半. So, ni, 2, ji, o'clock, han, half. So, 2時半, half past 2 or 2:30, however you like to say it. Yeah. Okay. Ohayo. Anyone know this one?
Good morning.
Good morning. And is it formal or casual?
Casual.
Casual, yes. It's the short one, so it's casual. In general, 99% of the time, the more formal it is, the longer it takes to say. That's just the way Japanese is built. Hai, 12. 12. Right. This one is? Hai, gakusei. Hai, gakusei. student, gakusei. One who studies. Okay. Daigaku, college, yes. Great studies. Okay. Bungo. This is number in the sense of like a house number or a telephone number. So remember the word for phone from before? Denwa. Put them together. Denwa bango, phone number. Denwa bango is phone number. So bango is number. Nensei. Okay, so the sei part, you remember from gakusei, it's a suffix that usually means student. Okay, nen means year. Put a number here, like ichi. Ichi nensei would be first year student. Ni nensei would be second year student. San nensei would be third year student, and so forth. Okay?
Which four would you use? Which four would you
Yo.
use?
Good question. So yonensei. They would use yo instead of yon for this. So yonensei would be fourth year student. And for college, normally you don't have to go higher than yonensei, right? But they use this counting system for 1 through 6 for elementary school, and then 1 through 3 for middle school, and then 1 through 3 again for high school, and then 1 through 4 for college. Okay. Koho. High school, yes. Okay. We have some high school dual enrollment students here, I think. Sensei. Hi. Hi, sensei. Tadaima. Anyone know? Yes, I'm home. Yes, there are some ritual exchanges when people are leaving home or coming home. When you're coming home, the person coming home says tadaima. The people who are already home say welcome home, which is okaeri. Yeah, and we'll get to that soon. Goju. Anyone know? 50, yes. 5 tens. Goju. So 50. Nice logical numbering system, right? Okay, you guys ready for some longer words? Here they come. Okay, so slightly longer first, and then really long. So desu ka? So we had so desu before, remember? So desu ka changes it from a statement, yes, that's true, to a question, is that true? So desu ka? So anytime you have a statement, if you put ka on the end, that turns it into a yes-no question instead. Okay, so very convenient. Ka makes it a question. Okay, so desu, yes, that's the case. So desu ka? Really? Okay. What's this one? Okaeri. Yeah, welcome home. So your friend comes home to your dorm room and says tadaima, and you're sitting there studying already, so you say okaeri. And this again is the casual form. Okaeri nasai would be a more formal one. Hi, Yamada-san. So Yamada is a surname, a family name in Japan, right? Yamada is a common name. San makes it polite. So Mr. or Ms. Yamada. Yamada-san. Okay? Renshu. Practice, yes. Again, it's a header in your chapters. Every chapter after the bunpo, the grammar section, also has renshu section. Okay. say? 17, 17, yes. This one is 14, which is 14, yes. 14, 14. 11, 11, right? 日本人
Japanese person.
Yes, Japanese person. So just like go is a suffix that means language, jin is a suffix that means person or people. So Nihonjin, people who are of Japanese nationality, right? Japanese people, Nihonjin. Amerikajin would be American people. Furansujin, French people. Spainjin, Spanish people from Spain, you know. Mexicojin, Mexican, yeah. So any nationality you want to do with
So
jin on the end.
Would like England just be A? Or
Actually, they use igirisu for nationality. So igirisujin is British person. I'm not sure why they make the switch, but they do. Ichiji han means, anybody? 1:30, yes. Ichiji han. Hachi, 80, yes. 80, 80. 8 tens. Hachi, 30, 30, yes.
Is that U supposed to be small or?
Yes, it is a small u. It's hard to tell, but it is. It's, if you look at it carefully, the top is even with the top of this part and not up here. Okay, so 30. 60, 60, yes, 60. This one is sayonara. Goodbye. Right, whoops, dropping things again. Okay, it's confusing when we've got the small one and the jusan. 13, yeah. Hi, konbanwa. Good evening, yes. This one is 12時, 12 o'clock, yes, 12時, 12 o'clock. Hi, arigato. Thank you, yes, casual version, right? 16, 16, yes. Hachi, 18, yeah. 40, 40, right? 70, 70, right? Hi, konnichiwa. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. Okay. Daika. Remember, that's a small tsu, so it sounds like a little pause. Daika. Dai means number. Ik is short for ichi. Okay. Ka in this case means lesson. So daika is lesson 1. Okay. Dainika would be lesson 2. Right. Hi, sumimasen.
I'm sorry,
Excuse me, or sometimes I'm sorry, yes. This one is, はい、ごちそうさまでした.
Thank you for the
Yes, thank you for the meal. Before or after eating? After, yes. ごちそうさまでした. is more literally translated as, that was a feast. So, ごちそうさまでした. Thanks for the delicious meal. Okay. いってらっしゃい.
Have a safe trip.
Yep. Okay, have a safe trip. That's a good way to translate it. It's literally, please go and you'll be welcome when you come back. いってらっしゃい. Okay, so like your host mom is sending you off to school in the morning. She says いってらっしゃい. And what you say will come up on a later flashcard. いってきます. Okay, this one. はい、はじめまして. Nice to meet you. Yeah, this one is more literally, we're meeting for the first time. Hajime is a root meaning that means to start, to begin. So we're starting something new. We're starting a new relationship. Hajimemashite. So when you first meet somebody, this is something you say. Hajimemashite. You do not say it when you're seeing them the second time or the third time or thereafter. Okay. はい、ごちそうさま. So remember we just had ごちそうさまでした, which was thank you for the meal, it was delicious. Formal form, this is casual form, just left off the ending, right? ごちそうさま. Okay, there's that rule again. If it takes longer to say, it's probably more polite. Okay, and notice also the break. Where did the break come? Right in the middle of what you would expect to be a piece that doesn't break, right? The soul kind of goes together, right? Japanese does not have the same kind of rules that we have in English about where you can or can't break a word. You can have gochiso sa ma and it's still fine. You know, and even if you're doing English typing, if you're using a Japanese word processing program that's made for Japanese, but it lets you do English, it will break the word in any crazy place that it wants to. And you'll have to do your spacing or whatever to try to not let it do that. So, はい、行ってきます. So if your host mom says 行ってらっしゃい as you're leaving for school, you say 行ってきます, which is literally I'll go and come back. Okay. At 19. Yep, 19. Right. はい、21, 21. Yeah, so now you see how two-digit numbers that are beyond the round numbers work. Okay, so 20 is 20, 21 21. So 22 would be 22. Yes, 25 would be 25. 52 would be 52. Yes, and that's how it works all the way up to 99. 99. Okay, until you get to 100, you don't have to change your system at all. Okay, so this one is 90. So that would be 90. Yes, 90 is 90. Right, 11 Yes, 11 o'clock. Okay, and this one. Right, おはようございます.
Good morning.
Good morning. Formal or casual? Formal, yes. What was the casual one? Ohayo. Right. So ohayo gozaimasu, more formal. What's this one? Hey, arigatou gozaimasu. Again, which one is this? Formal what? Thank you. Formal arigatou. Formal thank you. はい、いただきます。
Thank you
Thank you
for the food.
for the food. When?
Before
Before
eating.
eating. This one is more like I humbly receive. Okay, which is actually a literal translation, and it gets used for more than just receiving a meal. You can also use it when someone gives you a gift. Somebody gives you something, you can say itadakimasu, regardless of whether it's something to eat or something else. Itadakimasu. Right? Hi, 1年生. Yes, first year student. 1年生. Right, this one is? はい、おやすみなさい. Good night, more formal, right? Before we had おやすみ, which was good night casual. This is おやすみなさい, formal. Right? はい、おかえりなさい. Formal version of welcome home. おかえりなさい. They're the same meaning, welcome home, but this is the formal one. Okay. Hi. 留学生. Okay, the 学生 part means student. The 留 part means exchange. So, exchange student or international student. You know, 留学生. Right? はい、大学生. College student, yes. 大学 is college, 学生 is student. Put them together, you don't have to repeat the gaku part twice. 大学生, college student. Okay, and this one is? Hi, よろしくお願いします. Anyone know what that one means?
Nice to meet you.
It is kind of a nice to meet you, but it's easily confused with hajimemashite if you translate it that way. My personal preference for translations is to get more literal with these two in particular. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu is more like, please treat this relationship well. And the reason I translate it that way is, first of all, that's closer to what it actually means. We don't have an English equivalent to it. Also because it's not just for first-time meetings. Hajimemashite is only the first time you meet somebody. But yoroshiku onegai shimasu is anytime you're starting something new together, whether it's a brand new acquaintance or whether it's somebody you've known for years but you're starting a new project together. Maybe you've been neighbors but now you're taking Japanese together. Or maybe you've been in classes together and now you're starting a new group project together. Or maybe you've been working on this group project together with 5 other people and now you and this one other person are going to tackle one aspect of the project, just the 2 of you. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu is please treat this relationship well for any of those kinds of circumstances where you're trying to let the other person know that you plan to do your best in this endeavor and you are asking for them to also please do their best for you. Okay? So, very significant culturally in Japanese society to make that kind of a promise that, you know, I'm going to do my best and please you do the same. Okay? Any questions about vocabulary? Hi.
Is there any way we can put those out with the translation? Like,
I don't have the translations printed, but you could certainly write on them yourself if you decide to print them out.
okay.
And this is recording, I believe. Yes, it is. So you'll be able to reference it and listen to my explanations. And I tried to make sure that I was enunciating them clearly enough for the mic to pick up. So even though they're physical flashcards, so they're not going to show up on the screen in the computer,
Right.
you should be able to do a matchup. And the the PowerPoint that these were drawn from is here in your module. So if you look, you can see that, oh, I actually have English translations on some of these. I forgot that I'd done that. So yeah, you can print the PowerPoint if you want to, and make yourself flashcards. If you don't want full page ones, you could print the way it lets you put a certain number of slides per page, and get smaller flashcards that way. Hey.
When saying the time, do you put the PM or AM before saying time?
Yes. Yeah. Very good question. When you're doing like 1 p.m., it would be gogo ichiji. 1 a.m. would be gozen ichiji.
And then is the minute just kind of like?
We're not doing minutes yet at this point. We're just doing the hour and the half past the hour.
All right.
Yeah.
But Spanish has like a weird thing where you gotta like subtract for the latter half.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No.
You have to do basic arithmetic. It's terrible.
In Japanese, normally they just do the number of minutes past the hour.
All right.
Okay, but what I wanted to do next, actually, is, let's see, how much time have we got? Okay, I want us to do some quick overview of some of the grammar. Okay, let's see, we did all of the other drills that I had planned for us for now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off so we can talk about some grammar structures. So how many people have actually read the grammar explanations in the textbook already? Okay. So a lot of people haven't read it yet, so we're going to kind of just go over it quick, and then if we have time, we'll do some application practice as well. Oh, let me get your name so I can record that you're here. Okay, you're Dylan. Okay. So, attendance done. Okay. And that helps me keep track of who is who. Who's the learning names. So, okay, so we're first going to talk about the basic structure, X, Y, Y, X. So this is basically saying X is Y, okay, in terms of translation of the meaning. But the wa is not equivalent to is. Okay, so what I like to do, instead of translating it into good English, I like to do a more literal translation so that you get a feel for what Japanese grammar is really like. So this is actually closer to saying X, topic marker, Y is. That's the structure. Okay? So you'll notice, where does the verb go in Japanese? At the end of the sentence, yes. Every time. Okay? So for now, lessons 1 and 2, we're really only working with the verb to be, des. In lessons 3 and onwards, we'll be introducing more verbs. But the verbs are still going to be at the end. Okay? So to make some example sentences here, you can do something like, for example, watashi, so watashi wa rakusei desu. Okay? So this is saying I am a student, right? But if you want to be really literal about the translation, you could say I, topic marker, student am. Okay? Sounds weird, right? But that's the normal structure of Japanese. Okay? The other thing that's interesting about Japanese structure is that if it's obvious what topic you're talking about, you don't have to keep repeating that part of the sentence. So let's say you're saying multiple sentences about yourself. You can leave out the watashi wa, as long as it's clear that you're still talking about yourself, you haven't changed to talking about somebody else. Okay? So, watashi wa gakusei desu. You can also use this same structure to make other statements. So, for example, let's say instead of saying that I'm a student, what if I wanted to say that Takeshi is a student? All I have to do is substitute out, take out watashi, and put in Takeshi-san. I'm adding san because I don't know him that well, so I'm being polite. Okay? So, Takeshi-san wa gakusei desu. Takeshi is a student. Okay? What if we wanted to say that Takeshi is not a student, rather a teacher? Takeshi-san wa sensei desu. Okay? Or what if we want to give some other information about it? Maybe he's 19 years old. Takeshi-san wa 19 sai desu.
What does
Okay.
the desu mean?
Des means is.
Is
Okay. So Takeshi-san wa, you could do, for example, 19 sai desu. Right? 19 sai desu. And let's say we're going to continue talking about Takeshi, and we want to say what year in school he is. We don't have to repeat Takeshi-san wa, because we've already established that that's who we're talking about. So, Takeshi-san wa gakusei desu, Takeshi-san wa 19 sai desu. The next sentence, maybe we want to say that he's a second year student in college, so we could say daigaku 2年生 desu. We left out the Takeshi-san wa part this time because it's not necessarily required anymore. So, daigaku, college, 2年生 So, he's 19 years old and he's a college sophomore. Make sense? You see how the structures are working there? Now, what if we're not sure? What if we don't know if he's a student and we want to ask a question? Takeshi-san wa gakusei desu ka? There you go. Gakusei desu ka? And if you wanted to say, yes, he is a student, you could say, hai, gakusei desu. You don't have to repeat the Takeshi-san wa in the answer if you don't want to. You could say, hai, Takeshi-san wa gakusei desu. But you don't have to. You could say it either way. You could also use instead of hai if you prefer. And if you really want to simplify it, you could say so desu or hai so desu. Yes, that's the case. Takeshi-san wa gakusei desu ka? Hai so desu. That works too. Okay? And the same thing with any of these other statements. You want to turn that into a question. Is he 19 years old? I'm not sure. Takeshi-san wa 19 sai desu ka? Is he 19? Hai, 19 sai desu. Yes, he's 19. Or, what if he's not 19? What if he's actually 21? Iie, 21歳です. Notice that the ichi changes to I, small 2, before sai. Okay, 21歳です. はい.
I might have missed it, but is that a normal period or?
Ah, little circles are the way they do periods in Japanese. Little itty bitty circles. Kind of like the circle that's on Papipupepo. Okay, and commas tend to be a slash going this way rather than the curved comma that we're used to.
Do they use commas very often?
They use commas about the same way we do, sort of, in, you know, some variation, of course, but they do use commas, they use these periods. Notice that they don't use question marks when the ka is being used, because the ka already lets you know that it's a question. So a question mark also is a little bit redundant. They do use question marks when they're writing a casual style question that doesn't have a clear question particle on the end. So when we get into casual speech, which is much later, when we get to casual speech, you'll find that they start using question marks sometimes because it's not always clear in print whether something is a question or a statement, because in casual form, sometimes intonation in your voice is what tells you if it's a question or a statement. Think about, you know, in English, really? Really? Same deal in Japanese. Intonation does the trick sometimes. So when we get to that point, question marks come back into play. But for now, they don't get used much. Okay? So we've got two particles so far. Particle wa, our topic marker. Particle ka, our verbal question mark. Right? The third particle we're going to deal with is called no. This is the other grammar structure for this chapter. No allows you to take a main noun and modify it with another noun. Modifier noun. So the modifier noun comes first, the main noun comes second, because in Japanese structure, remember the verb is always going to be at the end, right? And whatever is closer to the verb is more important in a Japanese sentence. So by putting the main noun second, we're clearly giving it more importance than the modifier noun. So for example, if we want to find out what Takeshi's phone number is, you could say, Takeshi-san no, what was phone number? Anybody remember? Denwa bango. And then this whole phrase is the topic of our sentence, right? So our topic marker is wa. Okay, so Takeshi-san no denwa bango wa. And now, what is it? We're using a question word here. So the word for what was none. So nan desu ka? Here's our structure for what is Takeshi's phone number, right? So again, if you wanted to do it a really literal way, Takeshi's phone number, topic marker, what is, question mark. That's a very literal translation of the Japanese structure. Make sense? So everything comes from this kind of a structure, this kind of a word order. You know, if you wanted to ask, is Takeshi's mother a Japanese language teacher? Let me show you that. So, Takeshi-san no mother is one of your supplementary vocab. which was, anybody remember? Okaa-san. So Takeshi-san no okaa-san, particle wa, and then I said Japanese language teacher, right? So Japanese language would be Nihongo, right? Nihongo is modifying what? Nihongo no sensei, right? And then to make that a question, is she a Japanese language teacher? So the question would be, desu ka? Okay, so Takeshi-san no okaa-san wa Nihongo no sensei desu ka? Make sense? Another example of a question like that would be, okay, what is so-and-so's major? So we'll keep going with Takeshi. So Takeshi-san no, what was the word for major? Hai, senko. Particle wa. Takeshi-san no senko wa. And then what is it? Nan desu ka? There we go. So those are some example sentences using no in context. It's a lot easier to understand the usage of no in context rather than having to just try to explain it. Okay, so these are a few different examples of no used in context. Any questions about any of the grammar so far? Okay. So the next thing is to actually do some work with numbers. Yay! Do you guys want to review what the numbers are once more before we do the exercise? Okay, so let's look at your textbook. 48ページ, page 48. 48ページを見ましょう. And I want you to notice the page headers that we talked about. There's renshu, practice. There's suji, numbers, right? And also notice over here that little sound symbol. That means that if you listen to your CD, you can find these numbers pronounced on your CD as well. Okay? So you can go back and listen again if you feel the need. Plus, it's going to be on the recording for today's class. So let's read them together. So, and as much as possible, try to look at the hiragana, not the romaji. Okay? So, zero is one way to pronounce zero, and the other is de. De. Okay? Ichi, ni, san, yon, also shi, or yo. Okay? Go, roku, nana, or shichi. Right? Hachi, kyu, and sometimes ku. Okay, but again, like yon and yo, kyu is the more commonly used one. Ku is special circumstances. There are certain set phrases that take ku instead of kyu, but you don't use it all the time. Hey,
When you're counting, just up, which one would you use?
kyu.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally when people are counting 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the most common way to count to 10. Some people like to count 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1, 2, 3, 4 just sort of flows. Okay? So, and the same thing with shichi and Q. Hi.
Which zero would you normally use?
Which one?
Zero?
0. Zero and Rei are almost interchangeable. Rei comes from the Chinese origin, the kanji that used to be used for zero. Zero obviously comes from English, so they're fairly interchangeable. It's personal preference in that case. Okay, so Q or ku, and then 10 of course is Ju, and then 11, Juichi, 12, Juni, 13, Jusan, 14 can be Juyon or Jushi, depending again on the context. Sometimes one is more common than the other. Normally Juyon seems to be the default for most people. I don't hear Jushi as often. Okay, 15 is Jugo, 16, Juroku, 17, Junana or Jushichi. Again, I think Junana is more common. Okay, 18, Juhachi, 19, Jukyu or Juku. Again, Jukyu is the more common one. And then 20 would be Niju, and then going on 30, Sanju, 40, Yonju, 50, Goju, 60, Rokuju, 70, Nanaju, 80, Hachiju, 90, Kyuju, and 100, Kyaku. Okay, and then in a later chapter we'll get into even higher numbers where you can do, for example, Kyakuichi would be 101, Kyaku Goju would be 150, and so forth. Okay, so let's look at reading the numbers. Okay, and again, every time you see that little sound symbol, that means that this is also on your CD, so you can practice it at home as well. Okay, so do I have a volunteer to start? We're going to do some individual practice. Hi. Okay, so part A, the first one, go. Okay, B, can you do B for us?
Q.
Q, hi. Okay, let's see, coming over to, I just lost your name again.
Jamie.
Jamie, right.
Nana.
Nana, hi.
Ichi.
Sarah, Ichi, okay.
Q, or Kiyu,
Uh,
you hold it?
We're doing E.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? I thought we were just counting up.
No, we're going across.
Oh, I'm sorry. Geez. E is, Ju,
Ju,
or
Ju,
Ju, not Ju.
Ju, yeah. Jiu is freedom,
Yeah.
so be careful. Okay, F, Hachi, right? G, okay, it's number 2. Can you say the word for number 2? Okay, let me help you find that. 48. Sanju, Hachi, G. There we go. So we're up to here.
Okay, good.
Okay, we'll look at your list. Neat, there you go. Okay, Chantel. What are we up to? H, yeah. Uh-huh, and Thomas? Hi. And Julianne? Sun, okay. Now, Dylan, try 45 for us. Yon, Yon, what goes in the middle? Yonju. Yonjugo. Hi, Yonjugo. Be careful of your vowel sounds because a and o are distinctly different. Ya and yo, different letters in hiragana, so you gotta be careful. Okay, so Yonjugo. Okay, so 83. I lost your name again. Audrey, right. Hi. Okay, and Bethany?
Jukyu.
Hi, Jukyu. Okay, Jamie.
Nanaroku.
Nana, what goes in the middle?
76。
はい、76. Sierra?
52. What is the middle
Hi,
part again?
52. Hi, you said it right. 52. Okay, Ken?
I'm unsure.
100?
We're on J, right? Or are we?
Yeah, we're on F actually.
Or,
Okay, so that would be
Hia and then Ku.
Kaku. Hi, Kaku. Okay, Kaku. That's one word. Okay, Paul, right? Okay, Kaku.
38.
Hi, 38. Okay, sorry.
Brandon.
Brandon, right. 61 would be, okay. 60 is what? Okay, and then add a 1. Right, so 61. Just like that. Okay, Chantel, 24. Hi, 24. Hi, 24. Okay, Thomas?
J.
Yes.
Kyuju nana.
Hi, 97. Right? Okay, now we get to do some math. Okay, just the answer is okay, you don't have to read out the question. Julianne?
Tachi.
Hi.
Ju.
Hi, Ju, okay.
Nana.
Audrey? Nana, hi. D?
0。
0, hi. Jamie?
19。
Hi, Juku, okay. Sierra?
1.
Hi. And Ken?
Miju, I don't remember what the,
Okay, well, first just do the math part in your head.
okay.
How much is
Or, excuse me,
15, right?
Yeah.
So,
15. Jugo. I
Jugo,
saw
there you go.
25 and just.
yeah. Okay, so obviously we probably need to practice more numbers, but that's something that you guys can also be practicing on your own, okay? I would recommend that along with the vocabulary in your vocab list, you actually make flashcards for the numbers. And if you're finding the numbers challenging, you might want to make some of those intermediate numbers into flashcards too, you know, the 25, 27 kinds of numbers too, not just 1 through 20 and then the tens. Okay, so that's a good idea to practice because we are going to play around with a lot of numbers. The good news is when you do phone numbers, they just read the digits. They do not try to make, you know, in English sometimes we might say, oh, so-and-so's number is 777-1316. They don't do that in Japanese. They would do 1316. Okay, because 1316 is too darn confusing. Okay, so when it's a phone number or a house number, they just do the digits straight normally. Okay, but you still want to be able to say other numbers because something like page numbers, we would do, you know, like 49, 153, you know, whatever. And I will be saying the page numbers in Japanese from now on. So if you want to be able to keep up with us, get ready for example, 49 peiji is what we're up to, right? 49 peiji is this page. Right, question?
When you do area codes, how would you say that?
Ah, very good question. Okay, normally Japanese
Is the car?
area codes and the exchange and then the other part of the number are all separated by hyphens, just like we do in English, right? And where the hyphen is, usually Japanese people will say no to that. Okay, so a typical Japanese phone number, for example, might be so there's a, yes, they have different numbers of digits than we're used to. This 03 is a Tokyo area code. So 3の4678の5123 is a way you might say that phone number. Okay, and I just made that one up. That's not a real number. But 03 really is a Japanese Tokyo area.
They don't
code.
have 3-digit area codes, 2-digit?
They mostly have either 2 or 4.
And do you split them up like that?
Yeah, usually like Tokyo, certain parts of Tokyo have this, and then other parts of Tokyo might be like, so there are 4-digit area codes in some parts of Japan, there are 2-digit area codes in some parts of Japan. There are 4-digit local exchanges, 2-digit, sometimes 3-digit local exchanges, and sometimes the ending is only 3 digits, but more often 4.
Confusing.
Very. And so those hyphens become sort of important because where you stick the hyphen also gives some people in Japan a clue as to where you live if they're familiar with the exchanges in their area.
But it's always 10 digits. It's just.
Not necessarily.
At least that's me. That's easy.
Yeah. So, go figure, right? Maybe it's just because their system grew up sort of organically over time. Because there were time periods in Japan's history when very few people had phones. And there was a long period where, it would be like one phone for the street or the neighborhood, and everybody would go down the street to get their phone calls. And then that changed. So maybe that's why it's so haphazard. I don't know. Hey.
I know we weren't reading them, but how do you say the addition and subtraction signs?
You can use tasu for plus and minasu in katakana for minus. So like go tasu san would be 5 plus 3. And then you can use wa and then the answer des for the equals part. Yeah. Okay.
Talk about math. What's the decimal of math?
10. Yeah. So yeah, if you're doing like go 10 go would be 5.5. Yeah. And yeah, things like that. So okay, we are out of time, but if anybody still has other questions, I'm here for a couple more minutes.
I did have a question. I rented my workbook from my high school library.
Uh-huh.
So I've been writing all of basically rewriting the workbook pages in this notebook.
That's fine.
Is that all
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, just make sure you've got your name on it.
Yeah.
And
handwriting's beautiful.
try to make everything clearly labeled.
Yeah.
Workbook pages, I do credit by the page, so if you could do 1 page per page, that would help.
Okay, I think that there's a few that at the beginning that I sort of didn't organize, but I'll make
Okay.
sure it's like clearly written.
Okay,
But I've marked
yeah.
the pages that my notes are on, so you can just skip those and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah. If you've got notes intermixed with homework, it would help if you took like little sticky tabs or something
Yeah,
and
sticking out.
marked the pages that I need to actually look at.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.